Hi and welcome to a new video. In this video, we're going to take a look at the project Aragon. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe at the end of the video and post a comment, as that will help me a lot in growing this channel. Before we begin, I have put some timestamps in the comment section of the video so you can skip to the topics that you enjoy the most. To sum it all up in a nutshell, Aragon will give you the tools to create your own decentralized organization, in other words, a DAO. In general, when you start a business, even if it doesn't concern any crypto business, just any business at all, you will create an organization. Organizations are bound by laws of the country that you are in. Now, a decentralized autonomous organization is not bound by any laws or by any country. This can be useful for some particular cases. It is definitely not necessary for every company to become a decentralized autonomous organization, not at all. So the first aspect of a DAO is that it's decentralized. That means there is no central leadership and decisions are made in a bottom-up way. So in a normal company structure, you would be looking at this. So you have the CEO at the top, then you have some managers. Now in a DAO, the whole idea is different. So everybody who participates in the network can have a vote and influence the outcome or changes within that network. The second important aspect is autonomous. This means that it can live on by itself. Finally, it's an organization. This means you'll have your own rules and you will define how you will manage your funds, your treasury, and so forth. So to conclude, this is very important to understand. The system that Aragon is offering is a way to create a company to run your crypto project or whatever project that you're going to do. It doesn't mean that you have to develop your project on the Aragon blockchain. It is simply that you're going to use Aragon to create an autonomous organization that will govern your project. Now that we know what Aragon is, we're going to take a look at all the products and services that they're offering. So Aragon is a toolkit to create your organization, and they will provide you with everything that you need to very easily and quickly create your own organization. So when we look at products, we see the DAOs. So that's the creation of your organization. Then we have the connect function. So basically, connect allows you to connect the application or the project that you're building and connect it to the DAO. So first of all, you create your DAO and then you connect your DAO to the project that you've built. Last but not least, we have agreements. So agreements can be put on top of the rules that you have created within your DAO. So it's not necessary, but it's definitely interesting to add these because they allow for more flexibility. Especially in the beginning, it's really hard to think of every possible situation. So by creating agreements, you can set some general guidelines and rules that uphold the vision of the company and the project. Closely linked to agreements, we have the Aragon Court. So basically, Aragon Court mimics what we can expect from courts in our society. So in close relation with agreements, it is important that you can enforce the agreement as well. So if there are things happening that are not in line with the vision of the company, but are not being blocked by code, we still have the agreements and somebody can oppose what is happening, and then it will be judged in a court and see if this opposition is valid, yes or no. That's why we use the Aragon Court. So a very clear example is, for example, if we have an agreement that says we want to treat everybody equally, and then one person somehow finds a way to transfer all the tokens in the project to themselves, then we can oppose this from happening, and then the court will take a look at this and say, hey, this is indeed not what is being proposed in the initial documents, and we are going to undo this transaction. This court system immediately reminded me of the Kleros project, which is doing pretty well, so definitely take a look at this. This is a project completely and solely focused on decentralized courts. So it's really interesting to see that the Aragon team has also integrated such a system in their project. All right, now that we know what Aragon is, let's take a look at how easy it is to use. So let's click on Create a DAO. First of all, you have to connect your wallet. Let's take MetaMask. There we go, we're connected. So the next thing we do is create organization, and then we see what is possible. So first of all, we have a bunch of templates. In this case, let's just make a company. So in the company template, we have voting, tokens, finance. Okay, let's use this template. Our organization is Investor Bren. Next, we say, for example, that we need 51% of the votes in order to pass a proposal. And then we can say how many people, at least in our community, have to vote. So in this case, if we would, for example, say that a vote would only take 30 minutes, then I would put this at least high enough. So enough people have to vote so you can't push through any silly proposals. Next, my token name is Investor Bren, and the token symbol will be AAVE. So now that we've defined our token, we will be our own token holder and we will hold, let's say, 100 tokens. Next, we press review and then we can say launch organization. As you can see, they made it super easy. I'm not going to press launch organization because I don't want to publish a organization on the live Ethereum network because, yeah, we're not going to use it anyway and I don't want to create any pollution. Maybe somebody else wants to use the AAVE token, so I'm not going to steal that away from them. So when we look at the tokens, we see that we have two tokens. We have the End Network token and we have the End Network Juror token. So the ANG is being used in the courts and the End token is the main token behind the project. We also see End V2. End V2 uses 66% less gas, supports meta transactions and allows you to participate in future Aragon network votes. Now don't worry, there hasn't been a fork. This is just an upgrade of the smart contract. So it's still End. There is no End V2, there is no End V1 token out there. So if you're looking for the token on CoinGecko or anywhere else, just look for the ticker ANT. Of course, two tokens can be confusing. The main token again is the End token and the ANG token is linked to the End token. So if you're interested in investing in a project, take a look at the End token. I would not invest directly into the ANG token as it is linked to the End token. Finding out more information about the token was a little bit difficult, if I can say. You have to go down the website, go to community, click on wiki, and there you'll find a wealth of information. So everything is really well documented. Let's click on Aragon Network, and then we go to the Aragon token. So when diving into the tokenomics, we see that the Aragon Network token has a ticker symbol ANT. It is a native token of the Aragon Network and is primarily used for governance of the Aragon Network. So when we take a look at how ANT is used, because the usage of a token is of course very important to determine the value of the token itself. If it's not being used, then where is the value? So first of all, it is being used as the governance token, as mentioned multiple times before. This means you can vote for Aragon governance proposal process, and later on you could use it to vote for all the proposals in the community funding DAO. The second thing that we've mentioned was the Aragon Court, and yes, I mentioned the ANG token. Now, the ANG token is minted by depositing the ANT into a bonding curve smart contract. That's why I said I wouldn't invest directly into the ANG token. I would invest into ANT, as you need ANT to create an ANG token. Then when you click on the white paper, you will go to GitHub, and on GitHub you will get some more information on the ANT token. So the ANT token is a governance token. Each Aragon organization exists as a set of smart contracts that define the organization's stakeholders and their associated rights and privileges. However, some rights and privileges require subjective constraints that cannot be encoded in a smart contract directly. And that's where the Aragon Court comes in. Then we have some explanation on the Aragon's permission architecture. For example, if you want to get some funds out of the project and pay developers, it will work like this. So somebody, a member of the organization, proposes the payout. So they propose to take funds out of the treasury. Then the community approves this, and then the predetermined budget will be given to that specific address to pay the developer. Then we explain here how agreements work. So you can oppose this proposal from happening. When you want to dispute this proposal, then we go to the Aragon Court. And then we have here the explanation that if you want to be a juror, you have to stake the ANT token. The ANT token is then linked to the ANG token, which is then rewarded to the jurors. So they are still incentivized to spend time looking at different cases. Then we have an explanation on how the juror is chosen. In general, the more ANT tokens you stake, the bigger the chance that you will be assigned a case to evaluate. Then we have some information on the juror ruling, just to make sure that people are not simply copying behavior from each other. We have a two-phase reveal process. Then of course you can also appeal a court's decision, just as in real life. So to avoid anyone from opening a dispute, you have to put up some coins. So this way you're not just clicking and opposing everything that's happening in the community. So if you really think something is going on, then you don't mind putting up some coins and investing in this appeal. On the other hand, if the other party wants to oppose, they have to also invest in this appeal. So at the end of the whole process, the jurors have to be paid, the whole protocol has to be paid. So the one who loses has to pay all the fines and fees, just as it is in real life. Okay, now that we know how the Aragon Court is working, now we know what the ANG token is, then we look at the initial token distribution. This is always important to take a look at when you're looking at a new project, but this is all looking very healthy. So we have the total and token supply, and then we see here at the beginning what the breakdown was. So 70% of the entire supply has gone to the public sale, so it has gone to the public and to the community members. Then only 15% goes to the Aragon Foundation grant. So the foundation will use this money to pay developers, and one of the main developer groups is the Aragon One company. So the Aragon One company is a normal company that has developers and invests their time in developing the Aragon project, which is then being paid by the Aragon Foundation. Additionally, we have 15% for early contributors and the founders grant. Then we have some more information on the AAVE1 and the AAVE2 that we discussed earlier. And then we can see all the places that the ANT token is being traded. So we have all these exchanges. This includes regular exchanges and DEXs. So then it's time for the final portion of this video. Does the ANT token have value? So primarily the ANT token is a governance token, and we can use this to determine which direction the ANT project is going. Now, what else is the ANT token used for? Well, first of all, it's important to know that the Aragon project has a lot of free tools, so people can use the Aragon client, and the Aragon developer tools are open source and everybody can use them. You don't need to stake anything. There is no utility for the ANT token when you use these tools. On the other hand, you have tools like the Aragon fundraising. In this case, you still don't need the Aragon token as a utility token, but you do have to lock up the tokens in order to do your fundraising. So this means the more tokens that are being locked up, the less supply there is of this token. And if there is more demand, less supply, of course, the price will go up. So purely out of a token value perspective, we would like to see more of these different tools being created that force you to lock ANT tokens up in a contract, because this way there will be less supply, and hopefully the more interesting projects we have, the more demand there will be for the ANT token. So it's time for the final conclusion. Well, first of all, this project has been around since 2017. So it went through the ICO craze and it's still out there and it's still working and functional. They have over 1,500 DAOs created, 350 million value in assets stored. So that does instill some confidence. So when we take a look at the community and people that are using the Aragon system, we see AAVE, we see Curve Finance, we see Melon. So these are all big names. It is definitely interesting to see that these companies have an interest in the Aragon protocol in one shape or form. And of course, it is very easy to just list a bunch of projects and put them on your website, but we also see people really willing to put their faces on the website, willing to do an interview. So it's really these people who are saying, yeah, we are using Aragon and we trust in this solution for our own projects. Now, it is also very important always to know that the founders are known, so you can see them here on the website. And also you have the advisory board, and I think Tim Draper is definitely a very big name to be associated with your project, which also instills confidence in the project itself. I mean, Tim Draper has been backing companies like Tesla, SpaceX, Coinbase, and Baidu, so I think if he's interested in a project, there must be something there. But of course, as with any project, you have to do your own research. This guy also has projects that are going to zero. He's not always right 100% of the time. So definitely do your own research. So my final, I do think that the Aragon project has some upside to it, especially with the bull run coming up in 2021. When the altcoins are going to pump, I do think that we will go above the $8 mark for this project. So there is still some very nice upside potential there. Maybe 2x, 3x is definitely not out of the ordinary for this project. A longer and brighter future will of course depend on how the team will handle everything and on how the whole cryptocurrency market will evolve. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and post a comment because I can use all the help I can get to grow this channel. Thank you for watching and see you guys in the next one. Bye.